I think. Yeah, we're live. It worked. No, actually, everything actually worked this time. Um, on Twitch, going live is just a button. You just click go live. But on YouTube, it's more of a process. Uh, I have to like click go live here, and it says error, and then I have to click OK, and then I have to click go live on YouTube, and then it works. So it takes a second. Uh, yeah, setting up mods is annoying. But anyways, um, we're here. Constantine is here. I don't know, like he just like temporarily disappeared, or maybe he like muted himself or something. I don't know. Yeah, he muted himself. No, I can't hear you. But he'll figure it out. Anyways, so the news lately. Uh, there's not been so much going on, to be honest. There's been like a lot of like missile strikes and stuff, but that's we can talk about that in a second. But more or less, um, Russia's been kind of stuck, and I think that they're getting ready for another offensive. Um, shoot. Uh, anyways, I'm hoping Constantine unmutes himself in a in a second. But anyways, so how y'all doing? You okay? Uh, I'm just kind of awkwardly waiting for Constantine right now. But anyways, the Russians, like particularly in Bakhmut, I just got news um about 2 hours ago from Bakhmut. Um, uh, over the past few days, there have been various videos coming from Bakhmut. I think like the first one, um, I think was on this street here, like on this curvy street, where they were getting shelled. It was a bunch of Russian soldiers moving up, and they were getting shelled. Uh, so that was like right here, and then the following day there was another video of Ukrainians were like right on this corner between these two buildings, and they were shooting down this street at this bridge with a machine gun. So Ukrainians were like on this street, and Russians were like on this street. So it seems that this whole kind of area was kind of contested, and what was weird, the Russians were shooting north and the Ukrainians were shooting east, and then there was more news where Russians were kind of here ish, like around here, and I just got news like about 2 hours ago that and you should take it with like a grain of salt because I it's hard to confirm these things, but he basically said that Ukraine had pushed Russia back down to like here. He said that the Russians had moved north, that they had moved into these positions, and that they took those photos and videos and all the things that we've seen, but they never actually dug in. And then Ukraine kind of did an attack. Like I don't know if you would attack, I don't know if you'd call it a counterattack or whatever, but they did an offensive action and basically pushed the Russians out. That was his claim. But he also said that he doesn't expect that Ukraine will necessarily hold it. He's basically just saying that this is a gray area, and I'm mapping it as a gray area. Um, Russians can move in, they can take positions, and then the Ukrainians move in and they take positions, and just going back and forth and back and forth. The Russian sources they really want to paint this narrative that it's like a linear progression, that they're just moving through the city like one block at a time, where it really is not like that. It's more of a back and forth. So yeah, I'm surprised Constantine hasn't figured this out by now. Uh, I guess I should send it a tweet too, because I never actually did that, did I? He's restarting his computer, so he'll be here in a second. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna send out a tweet that I started the live stream because I have. Okay, so the Bakhmut area is just it's very complicated. It's not uh so easy and linear as people want to explain it. So recently we saw a video where I believe it was this building exploded, or maybe it was that building. I'm not sure. It was on the street, but apparently the Ukrainians had mined the building, and when they pulled out, some Russians supposedly moved in, and they detonated the booby traps or explosives, whatever you want to call it. They blew up the building. So, oh, Constantine's here. Hello. Yes. Oh, it's always fun when it's always fun when things that don't exist take priority. But I'm just going through the combat in Bakhmut and how it is very back and forth, and maybe you have something to say about Bakhmut. But right now I am talking about what is this street called? Mariupolska. Um, it is this main street that a lot of the primary fighting is going on right now. Um, the primarily this intersection right here near Sharoka. This is like the epicenter of the fighting on this street, but more or less there's fighting going on all across this street. So it's kind of that the Russians control the south side of the street, and the north side of the street is contested or maybe Ukrainian controlled. So so yeah, the yeah. Uh, so Constantine, have you heard anything from Bakhmut recently? Because I know you have some friends. Yeah. Yep. Huh. Wait a second. I'm confused. Oh, that's weird. Okay. So they can't hear you. I can hear you. So this is a my problem. This is a me problem, not so much a you problem. But it's weird because literally nothing has changed. So I don't know why it's not working. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna try to figure that out. Apparently, I don't even know what could have gone wrong. Um, correct. Weird. Uh, for all the people listening, Constantine said in a kind of annoyed way. He said, "So nobody can hear me but you." Yeah, it's true. It's true. Apparently. Uh, I don't really know what to do. Does can you? Okay, I'm gonna open up the stream and listen myself. So you're saying you can hear him, but he sounds. Oh, I understand I understand the issue. I understand the issue. I don't. I don't understand the issue. I no. It's not you. It's me. Um, I just don't know how to fix it. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna do something that we haven't we haven't done in a while. I'm gonna put on the be right back music. We'll be right back. Okay, now I wonder if this works now. No, it doesn't. God damn it. I don't know what to do. Uh, I mean, I know what the problem is. I just don't know how to fix it. The issue is that the plugin isn't working, right? So like the plugin is not working. So no, it's not you. It's not you. It has nothing to do with you. Constantine, don't switch anything. You're fine.
Virtual one,
I fixed
and
it.
now it's
I fixed it. I'm a genius.
you fixed.
Yeah,
What did you do? Randomly click something?
I did. I just randomly clicked something and it worked. Did it. You can hear him, right? Everything's better now. Great.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, they can hear you. I'm pretty sure I can see the sound wave that they can hear you. Yay, we did it. See, I just clicked the button.
No, I don't think I don't think they can hear me.
Oh, they can hear you. They can hear you.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, got it.
I just clicked
Great.
the button and it just worked. I clicked the plugin and the plugin has a list of apps and there was Discord and it was red and then there was Discord and it was green and I just clicked green Discord instead of the red Discord and green Discord works. So there we go.
Gotcha.
Let's go.
Well, let's go.
Okay, so you repeat what you said before to the people because they can hear you now.
Well, I didn't say anything interesting when I'm saying that I don't have much updates from Bakhmut specifically right now. You're basically showing almost house to house map. I probably comes from the infantry. Right now, I don't have anyone I know who is inside the Bakhmut. I know a couple of artillery officers who work in there, but as you can understand, they don't know as precise house by house understanding on what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know house to house either. I know that there are certain landmarks that I know. So those landmarks I can work with. The biggest landmarks are this kind of shopping area, and there's this square over here, and this building that exploded, and there's this stadium that I think there used to be fighting near the stadium, but not anymore. And there's a school and these buildings. So those are all the landmarks I know. So there we go.
So Andrew, can you in turn on the stream in the Discord so I can watch it
Oh yeah,
there
yeah, yeah.
without the delay?
Because I had that on, but then I had to restart Discord, so it went away. Um, there you go. Okay. So the administrative building is over here somewhere. I don't remember where it is. Oh, is it this? This is it. I think yeah, that's it. So yeah, it's there. Um, this kind of shopping area, this kind of square area, these are the hot zones. This administrative area, I don't think there is really fighting there yet. There's really fighting. The fighting is really along this street. The street goes all the way up. It goes all the way up to here, and then it kind of bifurcates, and I think both sides of this bifurcation have fighting. And then there's also this street here, which is very wiggly. It goes up quite a ways, and it starts down quite a ways too. I think it like starts down here and goes up. But anyways, so these two streets are the main fighting, um, and then also this street and this intersection. So yeah, that it's I can draw it. I'll draw it. I have a drawing tool. It is this street and these two streets, and this is your administrative building. So yeah, uh, this this intersection is kind of a big fighting point at the moment. Um, Russia has made multiple attempts to break through because they're kind of fighting from this way and from this way, so they really want to take this intersection and break through kind of that way, moving both north and west. So that's kind of a big sticking point, and Ukraine is doing their best to defend this intersection and also just generally this entire street. So yeah, that's kind of and I believe if I remember right, I think it was this building that exploded in that famous video, or it may have been this building. I know it was on this street. I can't remember which building it was. Um, and then on this side of Bakhmut, um, this street here is the heaviest fighting. Um, Along basically the entire street is very heavy fighting. The heaviest of all is this school here, which Russia probably captured this school. In fact, I've heard that the school might not even exist anymore. It might just be like kind of a crater at this point. But and then these buildings, these high rise, are this is kind of the really heavy fighting. So Russia is kind of pushing from the school and across the street towards these high rise buildings, and Ukraine is kind of, from what I understand, they're kind of using the basements of these buildings to move around and defend the position. And then here, this kind of triangle area is that famous airplane that everybody was taking photographs of, and then Ukraine eventually blew up that airplane. So so this whole kind of triangle is very important for Russia. They really want to control the whole triangle, in large part because this highway is just very important. Um, all it kind of goes all through the city. It kind of cuts the city in half, being able to control this highway. And it's not so much the road itself that's important. It's more that Russia really wants to control this intersection. They want to control this whole road, and then they kind of want to control this road. And if you control these two roads, basically everything to the east will fall. Um, so that's kind of like one of their main goals here is this intersection. Uh, so yeah, that's kind of the Bakhmut. Um, what's my bio? I work in baseball. That's my bio. Uh, how do I have uh, Ukrainian contacts? I'll tell you the main reason I have Ukrainian contacts is because I was like the only one talking about Avdiivka for a very long time. Like nobody even talked about it, but I did, and every time I talked about it, the Ukrainian people noticed, and then they would talk to me because I'm talking about Avdiivka, and they would give me more information from Avdiivka, and then eventually they just kind of got rotated around the country. So all those Avdiivka people are now all over Ukraine. And that's kind of why I have contacts, because nobody was talking about Avdiivka. Everybody was mostly focused on Kherson. Everybody was constantly saying, you know, that the offensive is going to happen any day now, like all that for months and months and months, and then there is the offensive in Kharkiv, which everybody focused on a lot, and then during that whole time I was talking about Avdiivka because there's nobody else cared. So that's how I got contacts really. Um, the Black Hornet micro drones. No, I haven't heard about Black Hornet micro drones.
They are, I can tell you something about. They're used only as special operations. They have very very limited uh, conventional military use, so they're not really quite. They cannot be effective in the battlefield like this. They're mostly used for SOF and only a couple of units have them, and they gave good feedback. There was one Ukrainian volunteer who, and I don't mean a volunteer fighter. I mean one of the uh, person that runs one of the biggest Ukrainian charity funds. He was talking about someone who had used those units. He gave good feedback about it, but said that they have really, really limited use case. So that's all I can say.
And the tool I use to make the map is called Google My Map. It is a terrible tool. It's I don't understand why Constantine would be quiet because he should be loud. Um,
You don't hear me?
I hear you. I think they could understand you. They're just saying that you were quiet, but I don't understand why you would be quiet because you should be loud and clear. In my
Okay. What about now?
it's nothing you're doing because my sound waves for you are really loud, so you should be really loud actually. Um, yeah,
All right.
yeah. They're saying some people are saying you're fine. Anyways, so the app I use is called Google My Maps. It is a Google app called My Map, and you can make maps on it. And it's built on top of the Google Map API. The tool was like last updated in like 2008, and it's terrible. And I suggest not using it. Yeah, yeah, he should be louder than me. The waveform says you're louder than me. Um, so yeah, so I guess we could go to Avdiivka since people want to talk about Avdiivka. I'm not sure which trench video you're talking about, but recently there was a Russian attack south of Avdiivka towards Zenith. Zenith is right here. It is a nuclear bunker that was part of. It was built in the Soviet era, I think in the 70s, and it was connected to this airfield. It was basically in time of a nuclear war. Everybody from the airfield would go hide in their little nuclear bunker, And around Zenith, there's all sorts of radar installments from the 70s and 80s and probably the 90s too. So there's all sorts of radars and all sorts of stuff. So this was like a Soviet airbase, the nuclear bunker for it. Okay, so uh, the area south of Zenith is heavily mined and has been for a very, very long time. Basically, since 2014, Ukraine and Russia have been building minefields all around Zenith. Um, so all of these fields that you see are just minefields. Um, so recently, the Russians decided it was a good time to die, and they all jumped in their BMPs, and they decided to ride into the minefield, and they didn't make it. They all they torn apart around here. Um, there are several videos uh, of of them all kind of getting destroyed right about around here. Is you tell easily because of this little kind of forest area is kind of like a little square shaped forest, and they were all getting hit just to the north of it. Um, so yeah, uh, that is one place where the Russians were attacking and then and failing. Another place is this filtration area. Um, the Ukraine has been attacking and or defending. I think attacking really, because this was a gray area that then turned Russian controlled supposedly, and then now it is a gray area again. So there was a lot of fighting here recently and heavy shelling. Um, then further north, this area, which I don't even know what this is called. Um, I have no clue. This is like a I don't know what this is, but there's also fighting in this kind of town or whatever that is, and then there's of course fighting near Kamyanka, and also fighting near Stepove and this hill thing. I don't know what this is, but so these are all kind of the areas around Avdiivka where there's been heavy fighting, and in addition to that, they've Russia's been trying to attack north from Vodiana and Opitna, and they have had variable success. At one point, they had pushed into Sibirna, and then they were eventually pushed back again. And recently, there's word that they broke through the Ukrainian defenses near Lestachkina. I don't know how to say that one, but they supposedly broke through the line of defense. I don't really believe it. I think they probably just moved through this forest strip, and I'm not really sure what happened to that. I don't think they're actually attacking this town here, but they're fighting towards it. And then in Vodiana, they've been trying to push west, and it hasn't been going well. And in Pervomaisky, the front line is somewhere around here. Recently, Russian sources have realized that Russia controls this part of Pervomaisky, which is not new news. This actually happened months ago. The Russians are very slow on taking up news around Avdiivka because they don't care about Avdiivka, um, even though they pretend they do. So that is kind of the news of Avdiivka is that really not too much has changed, other other than they've done these weird suicide attacks all around. They've been taking really serious casualties. Today, um, these all three of these dots are confirmed Russian armor kills. I think I think the north one was a tank, and the other two were BMPs. Or anyway, there's two BMPs in the tank. I don't remember exactly which was which. So they've they've been making the same mistake of moving armor through Vodiana, and if you if you ever see images of Vodiana, especially around here, it is just a tank graveyard. There are lots and lots of dead tanks, and also around here is lots and lots of dead tanks, and also this all kind of this road and this kind of road are all just tons and tons of dead tanks, and by tons I mean like 100 or 200. It's a lot of dead tanks. So they just keep trying to move up into Vodiana, and once they're in Vodiana, they don't really know what to do because we could look at this 3D terrain and you'll see just how stupid this is. So you see that this is all kind of pretty much flat as a pancake. They they move up this road. Sometimes they move through the field, and you have to keep in mind this field is a minefield. It's very heavily mined, so they move through the roads, sometimes through the field, up to Vodiana, and then once they're in Vodiana, they decide to keep moving north towards Sievierna, and they just this entire time they are in artillery range and ATGM range. So they have all sorts of ways to die. Typically, Ukraine has drones. Often their drones hover around here or around here. Sometimes they come down to this road right here, and the drones just kind of hover there and watch the Russian armor move up, and then they all get hit by artillery and missiles and whatnot, and then they post all the videos on the internet for internet points. That's and this has been going on for a long time. Today, the British intelligence, which the British intelligence isn't really so much the British intelligence. It's just kind of they take what's popular on Telegram and Twitter and then post it. That's kind of what they do. They're kind of like OSINT. They're not really the British intelligence. Like the actual British intelligence aren't actually saying anything. So when you anyway, so they said recently, or this morning, I think, that the Russians in this area, especially around Vodiana, have lost so many armored vehicles that they were going to have to reconstitute a new armored force. And when you see the number of armored vehicles, just dozens and dozens and dozens of dead tanks, like this corner right here between these two roads and this pond, which was once frozen, but isn't anymore. But between this like area right here, I have seen like upwards of 15 dead vehicles there at a time, and the destroyed vehicles, like every once in a while they disappear, and I don't really know how, but they do. It's very confusing. I guess they come and retrieve them. I don't know how, but then when they disappear, there's just more dead tanks show up like a few weeks later. So
So what's your take on it? How long do you think they're gonna sustain it?
sustain these attacks.
This attacks. Yeah.
I think what Igor said the other day is accurate. He said that the primary fighting force in this area, like the highest quality troops, are and I know you hate me saying this, but it's the DNR. They are the best soldiers that they have in the area, but they just have so few of them at this point that they can't themselves fight anymore. So they have been so like you have units where it's like like three DNR guys and then like 100 mobilized Russians who mostly don't know what they're doing. They don't really want to fight. They have low morale and everything. So you end up with just very small numbers of good soldiers, supported by a horde of very very bad soldiers, and they're attacking locations as if they had elite soldiers. when in reality it's mostly like bottom of the barrel quality soldiers. So that's kind of the issue right now, is that they're if they actually had as many elite soldiers as they thought, this would probably be going very differently. But they actually have just really bad soldiers, and they don't really know what's going on. So um, that's uh, how long can this go on? For a very long time, because they just keep pumping guys into here. Um, Ukraine doesn't have the firepower to necessarily stop the Russian attacks. They don't have enough artillery to push Russia back. And also, they don't have the air defense necessary to push back or, you know, discourage Russian air power. And then that air power comes in and does a lot of damage. So they're dropping very large bombs on a pretty regular basis. Like a lot of these towns are getting hit by bombs like every single day, like Orlivka and Berdice and Stepove. And so these are towns like beyond the front line that are getting hit with aerial bombs, because Ukraine doesn't have the air defenses to stop that sort of attack. And I'm not talking like rockets. We're talking bombs. So this is all. Russia can keep attacking like this for a long time. I think there's nothing really stopping them from just suiciding constantly. It's just, are they going to have successes? Um, all of their successes so far have been on the back of air power. Um, like a lot of the damage around Pervomaisky was from air power. If I remember right, they were dropping bombs along the strip, this road strip. They're dropping bombs, and there's also a lot of big bombs were used to clear this area. I saw a few videos of like 1,500 kilogram bombs being dropped here. Like the explosions were just gigantic. Like you could see these explosions from like up here, uh, in like Berdice and Orlivka. You could see these just giant explosions. So a lot of this has been built on the back of air power, not so much their infantry. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what's going to happen in Avdiivka. Today we saw news that uh, France is handing over more anti-aircraft assets. And when I saw that, I thought in the back of my head, maybe it'll send them to Avdiivka. Although Ukraine, being the way they are, they'll probably send it somewhere else. That's kind of typical. Um, yeah, there's a joke that I've heard that the all of the best soldiers are Ukrainian, and the best soldiers in the Ukrainian army are the Ukrainians, and the best soldiers in the Russian army are the Ukrainians. That's a joke I've heard. Constantine, I don't know if you've heard that joke, but I've heard it a lot.
I did not, surprisingly, but I don't really find it funny, to be honest.
Uh,
But yeah,
it's just a comment, really.
of so and how things are south. Do you know any updates from there? I heard that Ukraine suffered a bit of a setback recently. There had a couple of M777s destroyed. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I don't know if those M777s were actually destroyed. I've gone through that video a number of times. Um, I have the video here. I don't know if I can show it. Should I show it? I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Uh, Here.
Yep, this one. Well, one of them probably was damaged. Maybe not destroyed, maybe damaged.
The last explosion that's coming up, it was kind of a catastrophic one. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't. First, for a few points. First, I don't know when this video is from. Some people say it's from last year, which maybe it is. I don't actually know when it's from. Second, I don't actually know where it is. And third, I don't know if they're actually destroyed. There's another similar video which I'll play, I guess, here. So that's another similar video where I don't think anything was destroyed in that video either. And I also, this is another thing where I don't know when it's from or anything. That's why, like, I don't trust Russian videos. I don't trust them. I don't really put much stock in them. They, I've talked about an event in Pisky, or actually it was Pervomaisky, but um, a while ago. This was like October or whatever. I tweeted out a story, which was a true story, where the Russians had they pushed with a tank company through the southern part of Pervomaisky. It was like right around here, and I I I heard that this tank company, it was a full company. They were repelled by the Ukrainian forces, and the Ukrainian forces did not have any anti-tank equipment, and it was actually pretty impressive that they managed to repel an entire tank company with no anti-tank equipment. They had no javelins or anything like that. So
Probably RPG 7s. RPG 7s come in every infantry squad
yeah, I don't know if you
or
can.
80.
I don't know if you can take out like a T80 with that though. But anyways,
Like from my experience, you can, but you need a lot of them, some multiple hits. But what often happens in the combat is with the tanks is that depending on the experience of the crew and their communications, you can scare off the tank just by hitting it. Imagine you as a tank commander and a kind of tank driver, you don't really know if you were being attacked by from multiple directions and you're about to blow up. So most of them, it's just like every person in a in a firefight, for example. You always start thinking, you are being shot at, and you're gonna be killed in a matter of seconds. So the best reaction would be to leave ASAP. A lot of tank drivers do that. I've seen a lot of videos of that happening. They get hit even by the heavy machine gun sometimes, and they just hear the pops from the inside, and they take a decision to leave the area. So if it's RPG, if it's a lot of them, maybe you don't get the tanks destroyed, but you definitely can scare them off. Also, it always depends with RPG. If you hit the tracks, you can the tank can lose them, and it all depends where you hit.
yeah. So anyways, in this area, I had tweeted that this there was this attack and it was repelled, and nothing really changed. And then like a month and a half later, the Russians posted this video here. Um, I'm not gonna play the whole video because it's like 10 minutes long, but this was the video of that attack. Uh, and it's actually a pretty interesting video. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. So, anyways, that's more or less the video. More to my point is that the Russians posted that they had successfully captured like one part of Pervomaisky and then another part of Pervomaisky and then another part of Pervomaisky, and then they posted this video to as evidence of this support, when in reality all of their captures had happened in a different order, where they had actually captured, this part of Pervomaisky first, and then they captured this part of Pervomaisky second, and then they captured like this part like third, and then like the tank battle was actually like out of everything, the tank battle was first, so everything was out of order, and they had taken all of these events that had happened over the course of like a month and a half, and they posted it as some linear progression where they were slowly moving forward, when in reality they would sometimes move up a lot and move back a lot and then move up a little bit and move back a lot and then move up a little bit more. So like that's actually the reality, is it's doing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So that this is just you should never trust the videos that they tell you, and this is the same sort of thing that's going on in Bakhmut right now, where they post these videos, these events where they say, okay, we captured this building, and then we captured that building, and then we captured this building, and then we went to that building, and it makes you think that they've moved linearly through the town, when in reality all these things happen at different times over a long period of time, and probably not in the order that they're telling you, and it doesn't mean what they want you to think it means. So just take everything with a grain of salt. Um, and yeah, there was a false video in Donetsk. It was filmed like over here somewhere. I don't remember. I didn't really pay attention to that fake video, because the second I saw it, I knew it was fake, and then I just kind of moved on. But a lot of people have been writing about it, and there's lots of articles, and you can go read them if you want. But yeah, it was like over here somewhere. They like filmed a video where they pretended to be Ukrainian soldiers, and then they shot a little kid who didn't exist in a car. So it's just another more propaganda.
Oh,
Uh,
the one that where it's someone stopped them for speaking Russian,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
And it turned out to be that even Russians then said that that was a fake false flag operation that was poorly executed. Yeah, and they still, you've been told that you've been lied about it, and you're like, yeah, let's wait until they start filming something more believable. And it was like such an ridiculous comment. Like when you see stuff like that, no, you should lose trust to your sources, because you're being lied, and it's literally hatred being spawned against Ukrainian nation. And but instead they say, okay, we will wait for our special services to start doing proper false flag operations, and then we're gonna be happy.
yep. Remember the video about the crossing of the Dnipro River? That's my favorite. I love that one. They're like the
When they
Ukrainians.
attacked nuclear power plant, they tried to attack what?
The Ukrainians, the Russians said that Ukraine had attacked them in the middle of the night on boats, and they killed all of them. and the Ukrainians, they filmed a video where they all laid down dead and like on like the beach, and they filmed like a guy like walking through showing how dead they all are, and then at the end they get up and start laughing. And they posted like the first part of the video, where they're all laying down dead, and all the Russians, they took that video and said it was proof of this attack, and then like a week later they posted the full video of them getting up and laughing, and then the Russians were really upset. They're like, it's not fair. Oh, that video is so funny. I love that video. Uh, More of that. I like it when they troll. Oh, it's pretty funny. Speaking of trolling, here I can get a video of some photographs of some good trolling that Ukraine did today. It occurred near Moscow. Do you know what I'm talking about, Constantine?
No, no, I don't. Please.
Okay. Here we go. I found it. Um, Today, um, Ukraine launched this drone towards Moscow, and it crashed. I don't know if it crashed intentionally, if it was shot down, or if it was, I don't know what happened, but it crashed. And this is the drone.
I've seen this one. Yeah.
It's a fantastic drone. I just love it. I love how it just says like uh just Slava Ukraini. That's so fantastic.
They've been doing this from the,
I just
they at in 2014 we have this org that was called Right Sector that was totally unknown until Russia invaded in 2014. And when they invaded, they said that they found in Crimea their business cards, Right Sector business cards, and that was like pretext for them to annex Crimea.
this is roughly where it crashed. I don't know the exact location, but that's roughly. It was pretty close to Moscow. So yeah, that was pretty funny. Um, is it styrofoam? Uh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, the drones are made of. It's nothing surprising. If you want to make a cheap drone, you use the foam because it's just it's one way drone, and you really don't care. It's the if you can, it's really light, and you don't care if it breaks. You build another one.
Yeah, and this is another school that Russia blew up today in Kramatorsk. So a kindergarten. Um, it was hard to find this school. Actually, I don't even know if I found the right school. I kind of got frustrated after a while trying to find which school it was. But yeah. Uh, so yeah. So we did news of Avdiivka. We did Bakhmut. There is more news in Bakhmut, I guess. Um, this northern side of Bakhmut, I have had very mixed news. It's very difficult to understand what's going in the northern side of Bakhmut. I have one guy who I consider one of my most trusted sources. He says that um, this building here is not controlled by Russia, and that it's actually a gray area, and that Ukraine actually controls the southern half of the building. Um, I don't know if that's actually true, but he is a very reliable source, and he is in Bakhmut, so it is plausible that he would know this. He is saying that basically everything from this store, so like every from across the street from the store, so like everything from here down is contested, and he says that this part of the building is controlled by Ukraine. The Russia wants you to believe that they control all of it, and they post videos sometimes, and I've been told that those videos were taken from a point in time when all of this was much more porous than it is now, and it was easier back then to move south and take videos and then move back north again, whereas now they say that it is more difficult to do that. I don't know if it's really hard for me to understand what's going on in the north, and that's why I don't really like talking about it. From what I've heard, this street here is kind of the main front line for Ukraine, and everything beyond that street, I don't really know. So yeah, I'm not just not really sure.
I'm surprised. I was thinking that this industrial, how this industrial complex called Promka, they call it. Promka, that's basically industrial zone. I thought the Russians took it pretty far, pretty long time ago. I had a friend inside there. He was rotated out, yeah, but they were like a mortar team, so they were rotated out of it. And I was thinking that they took it, Russians took it, but if it appears that you've shown it's not, they have not yet been
Yeah,
able to do so.
I think back then it was more porous. That they could move through it back then much easier. And then Ukraine was kind of just pulling out until they realized that they could defend the street. And once they started defending the street, they realized Russia couldn't crack it. They started just pushing more and more guys into defending it, and they turned this street into like a fortified position, which it was not before. Like this street was not really fortified, but then they fortified it, and once it was fortified, they started kind of like pushing out from it, and I think that's kind of what happened. Um, because there was that one time when Ukraine was just pulling out. It really felt that Ukraine was pulling out of the entire city. That was the impression I had. Um,
Yeah, I remember that.
and then they didn't do that. They're still there. So um, how how much Russia can keep fighting here, I'm not really sure because they've from what I've heard, and we've kind of seen this when Russia makes these advances through the city, they can get to a position, but they don't really take the position. They just kind of move into it, and then Ukraine kind of pushes them out of it, and it can't. It's kind of like sloppy, like carrying around like a bucket of water, I guess. Like it just kind of like moves around a lot. The front line is not really stable, and the reason for that is that Russia doesn't really have the ability to dig into positions, and I think one of the main reasons that they can't really fortify a position when they take it is that they just don't have the men to do it. I don't think they have the resources. I don't think they have enough manpower. Um,
Yeah, it's not endless. It's Russian manpower is not endless, even though it's a large country. You must understand that it's not the limitless military. They had quite small army for initial, professional army. The mobilize people, you cannot mobilize them too much because they don't want to fight mostly, and those who get into the military, they start complaining back to their wives, back to their families, and it causes a lot of internal pressure. And I'm not saying that those guys gonna overthrow Putin. What I'm saying is that you have your local women pushing on your local officials who have to react somehow, and they have to react. You cannot even though if it's totalitarian regime, autocratic regime, it's not yet on the level of Stalin, where they had just would have killed them all and that's it. But even in the level of Stalin, when you have mothers and families of those who actually fight, being being treated uh, as bad people, as criminals. You don't. It's real hard to continue because that's who you build your regime on top. That's your core. But yeah, it's a problem for them, so they do it quite slowly. They cannot allow them to have. They cannot afford to have millions of people in the army. And
So
that's why I think, Andrew, you said that they are trying to, they're using tactics such as to uh, try to recruit people, like propose them better money, better conditions of serving, shorter term services. Is that right?
yeah, they've been offering 6-month contracts, which I think is pretty much what Wagner was doing, right? So they've been offering 6-month contracts where they will pay off your debt or at least pay off a significant amount of your debts. Like you can like submit how much money you owe and who you owe it to, and they will tell you like, okay, we'll pay that off if you go fight for 6 months or whatever.
Yep, and that gives you also the quality. If you rely on the people who desperately need to do something with their debt, those are usually troublesome people, and they're usually not the best quality. They're not going to be best quality troops. Is if that's your strategy. I'm not saying that everyone who has large debt are going to be a bad soldier, but what I'm saying that statistically, it's those people who get into the trouble, and if they are willing to go to the front to pay off that debt, it's not really. It's probably not the best quality statistically. So I don't. And quality does matter. It's not. Of course, you can substitute quality with quantities to some extent, but still, you cannot have too much completely unprofessional, completely ignorant troops, because they will decrease the morale of others, and they will cause fronts to collapse on some of the on the certain directions.
Yeah. Also, they've been offering to give people cars and things like that too. Um,
Ladas, I hope.
uh, regarding this industrial area, I do believe we have a question here. Uh, is it true? Is there an underground complex? I believe there is an underground complex. I don't know too much about it. I know that Bakhmut has a lot of underground to it. Um, it's not like we talked all well, I don't know. there, I mean, it's obvious that Solidar had underground components to it. Um, I don't know how well known Bakhmut is, but Bakhmut also has underground components to it. There are tunnels. There are underground facilities. There is industrial stuff here, and yeah, and there's mining. They mined in Bakhmut just like they mined in Soledar. So there is lots of underground stuff all over Bakhmut, and this industrial area, I'm pretty sure, also has these sort of underground components. I don't know how they're being used though.
Yeah, I don't have any information on that. It's quite a problem. I don't think many people do.
Yeah. There's another question. What's going on in this forest strip? Uh, um,
Around Khromova,
yeah.
I think there are a couple of air bombs landed there, but it was. I think I heard it on Sunday from someone, but I don't have any confirmation.
Yeah. So the last I've seen, we have lots of videos of Russians moving through this forest, and then getting destroyed, more or less. Um, Ukraine has drones all throughout this area, some of which we've supplied, right? So yeah, they get spotted with these drones, and then they get hit by mortars and artillery and whatever else, and then they scatter. That's typically what happens, from
Yeah.
my understand.
And some of our drones fly there as well. So it's you contributed to Ukraine holding over there. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, and there's a link to in the description to our the fundraiser that Constantine is doing right now to get more drones. Um, I don't know. Do you want to talk about your fundraiser?
We are right now running a fundraiser to get six thermal vision drones. Autel T4 or Mac T4 Max or 40 Max is their new drones. We have not yet tried them because they have not yet been released. They're going to be available in April, in mid-April. So by that time we're going to have this donation drive closed. They will go to 46th Brigade, which is fighting around Bakhmut. They will go to 92nd Brigade, which fights around Bakhmut and Svatovo as well. There is one of their battalions a bit northwest of it, fighting. I think it's third mechanized battalion, and they urgently need the drones. Also, one of the drones will go to National Guard, that still fights in the area around Kremina. They have managed to somewhat stop Russian offenses there, and there have not been too much movement, and it also thanks to 95th and National Guard, 95th Brigade and the National Guard. So your support is really needed. Those are thermal vision drones. Thermal vision drones are quite scarce right now, and they allow to stop Russians at night. They do tend to perform assault operations at night lately because they know that we have less thermal vision than day vision. So thank you for your support. Thank you for chipping in, and thank you for coming here.
It's fantastic. Oh, and speaking of drones, um, I don't think you posted the video, but there was a video today of some drone footage from around Svatove, I think, right? Of the Russian forces taking pretty significant damage.
Yep, there was an attack, Russian attack at night during Svatova. It was on the positions of 92nd Brigade. At the same time, they performed an attack on the position of Territorial Defense Forces a bit nearby. Those who attacked 92nd Brigade got literally obliterated. They probably lost half of their manpower. We have confirmation so far of 5 casualties. They had a platoon size. It was a platoon sized attack. We have confirmation in that forest strip in which they were stopped of 5 fatal casualties, but it's not. Of course, it's not clear all the extent because we only had only one of the drones flew there to verify them. We counted, I think, 5 or 7 we could find, but of course we cannot guarantee that we found more. I think that was probably much more closer to 15. You will see a video. I will release it probably in 2-3 days. They asked me to wait until they release it, also because the brigade asks them as well for the brigade press center asks them for this videos as well. We will release it probably about the same time, and it's they got whacked pretty badly. However, territorial defense unit took some damage, unfortunately, and was not as successfully repelling the attack. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But territorial defense, of course, is much less equipped than 92nd Brigade, than a mechanized brigade. Yeah, there is. I think you told me that there is 26 brigade over here. I don't know anyone from. I don't know personally anyone from the 26 in this area. But 92nd mostly works with its own artillery brigade group that has 109 M109 howitzers. Um, so they know what they're doing. Have you heard rumors so that Russia is trying to like not trying to the rumors that commander of this of I think it's General Colonel General commander of this Kupian Svarova and the criminal access is to be removed from the command. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I have not heard about that. I just realized I was muted. I didn't say anything, so it didn't really matter. I just said that I heard that the area around the 26th around Kupiansk shot a lot of ammo recently. That's all I said. So, anyways, I have not heard about a commander getting relieved. Where did you say the commander was?
This is a commander of this entire axis
Oh, okay.
from Kupiansk to Svatove to Kremina.
Yeah, I've heard about the commanders near Kupiansk. I don't know what level commander they are, but I've heard that the commander near Kupiansk is exceptional. He is very very good. Um, Regarding Kremina, I've not really heard anything about any of these other areas. Although watching the behavior around the northern part of Svatova, I question their logic sometimes. But uh, but yeah, um I will say that if the guy who is commanding Kupiansk gets promoted, that would be bad for Ukraine because he's actually very very smart. The rest, I don't know too much about the rest, and I don't really know about the guy who was at the top either. So I don't know. Yeah, I just know that the commander near Kupiansk, the Russian commander, is pretty good. Um, I've
Yeah,
heard.
you've been saying that for a lot of. I remember that. What's
Yeah,
his name?
I don't know his name.
Let's dox him.
I've just heard that he's smart. That he doesn't make mistakes. He might not eh,
Yeah, commanders don't do mistakes. It's their troops that make mistakes.
well what I mean is that he doesn't like send his troops to die. Like he doesn't do stupid things. He does what a smart person in his situation would do. Like that's what he does. He's kind of cautious. He probes. He's careful. He doesn't just like charge headlong into the town over and over again, hoping for the best, like some of the other commanders do. Like he's a little bit more nuanced in the way that he does things. Kind of tries to attack you from the flank. Tries to just be smart. He does like what a commander is supposed to do, really. The if I remember right, my the description should have the link to the fundraiser, assuming I
Uh,
typed it right.
yeah,
I don't know if
yeah. Description of this video has a
yeah,
link to the to PayPal.
yeah.
So you're welcome to help. Just click on the description, click show more, and there is a link at the bottom.
Uh, I don't know anything about any new news about Starlink. Although Starlink is pretty important, I do kind of think that Ukraine has been trying to use Starlink less. That's just kind of an impression that I get. I don't know if they trust it too much, but I don't know. I don't know if there's another option really.
I have not heard any problems with Starlink. Starlink works without any issues from everyone that I heard with. I hear a lot of some technical issues, of course, but that's nothing like just someone not enough satellites is in the area, which is temporary usually, or someone just doing their own settings or etc. But usually it works. I have not heard any like systemic issues.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on to another area. We're kind of not doing things linearly, but that's okay. We don't need to do it linearly. Moving to the Zaporizhia area. Novodenilivka is a weird place for me. Oh, they want to know what is the makeup of the new armored brigades with the Western equipment.
No one knows that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we will know that. I've heard people say that there are three army corps that are being prepared. I think 7/11s, 9s, and something else. It was Reznikov who said about it, who talked about it in last fall. But I'll be honest with you, Reznikov is that's at least don't that's my opinion. I don't. I take everything he says with a grain of salt. He's a political figure. He is more like a PR guy, and he less of a technical guy who knows how things actually will work out in the end. So he's good at maybe logistics and negotiations with his counterparts, but I take a lot of stuff with the grain of salt of what he's saying. But I have not seen any real confirmation so far about actual corps being planned. I know that there are many new mechanized brigades that are formed that will use this equipment, but I have not seen a confirmed information that that they're going to be put into the divisional or corps structure, which actually I think my personal take is they should go into the division and corps structure, because we had a lot of problems managing the command and control when we have only when our top level is brigade and there is an operational command on top of it. The operational command usually is not prepared, and when it was out, like too many units under its command did not manage to do it properly many times.
Yeah, it seems that they're going to be three core, but I don't know.
Yeah, I spoke with Rabli about that as well, and Rabli says this is coming from Reznikov as well.
Regarding commanders or possible commanders, I do happen to know, just by sheer coincidence, because I don't know many people, but I do happen to know. I think one of the commanders who will be in charge of these tanks. He was once in Avdiivka. He was one of the people that I met from Avdiivka, because I was one of the only people talking about it. So he he was promoted from a tank commander to the higher than a tank commander, and then he was promoted again to be a commander of an unspecified, non-existent tank structure. I don't know how else to say it. It seems very likely he's going to be in with these Western tanks, and I have not heard him say a single word since December or so. So I really kind of think he's probably involved, and he is a very seasoned tank commander. He's been more or less driving tank or not. He's been more or less commanding tanks since like 2014. So he knows his stuff. He's been around. So it's not like I don't think they're picking like random people to command this stuff, because that was one of the questions. Are they going to be using older commanders? And I'm pretty sure he's going to be involved in that somehow.
So the Challenger, for example, they will go to the assault forces. We used to call them air assault, but in reality they're called more like landing and assault forces. And yeah, right now they've been a bit repurposed and they're more assault forces. Then there is not much air element in them left. And they were getting the Challengers. At least they were training on the Challengers in Great Britain, unless that was a separate operation, separate informational operation to confuse the enemy. But it appears that they will get the assault forces will get 2 companies of 28 tanks, 2 companies of Challengers, and that's one brigade has 1 company of Challengers. Assault brigades, they have one company of tanks, and that's probably going to be the Challengers now for 2 of those brigades. I cannot say that two Challenger 28 Challengers is makes too much of a difference, but if you put them in one spot, they can of course cause a lot of havoc and bring quite good results. So we'll see about that. And about the Leopard tanks, as far as we've seen on the released videos, they will go to the tank brigades. Ukraine has four main tank brigades. There are more right now, but the ones that have experience and probably they will receive them are 17s, I think, and first tank brigades. I'm not sure, but probably it's gonna be them who's gonna receive it. But we'll see what's gonna happen. And one tank brigade has up to 120 tanks. So it's not. We will see how that goes. And the key, I think, one of the, I would say, most interesting things about the tanks is the Leopard first tanks. Do you have any information on when Ukraine is going to get Leopard first tanks, Andrew?
The Leopard ones, I don't
Yes.
know.
Yes.
I don't know when they're getting Leopard ones. I don't even really know who's giving the Leopard ones, because there've been so many rumors. I haven't actually seen confirmations of these things. I don't know.
But what's good about Leopard tanks? There are more of them. Like more were pledged. I think it's important, even though Leopard 2, of course, is a better tank overall. But sometimes you want to have more reliable tanks than more reliable and working tanks than have couple of absolutely best superior grade tanks that everyone will love, because no matter what tank it is, they still cannot solve problems of landmines, and they still cannot solve problems of eating up 80 GMs. So it's sometimes to have. Yes, sometimes you gotta have it, like leopard ones are just as good, not just as good, but it's important tank. And it if you would ask me if I would have 20 25 or 30 Leopard 2s or 150 Leopard 1s. That's of the one of the latest upgrades, of course. I would probably pick the Leopard ones because remember, key in the war is often the maneuver, and being able to maneuver forces fast and distribute them properly is the key here. And moving running around with 30 Leopard tanks around all front is quite not quite decisive, while having many of them and having reinforcements, planning proper tactics is it can be more effective. That's my take on it.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that the best leopard tank force in the world is Greece, and Greece is not going to give anything. So they have the best leopard ones. They're modernized very recently with pretty good stuff. They definitely have the best leopards out there. So it's just unfortunate. They also have the most leopards. I think they have like 500 or something. They have so many leopards. But it's just unfortunate they're not going to give any because they're stuck in this like Cold War with Turkey.
But once again, those I think they will keep coming. They will fight. The main problem with them that there is enough quantities around Europe, but there isn't a problem with the state of those tanks, and the state of those tanks is actually a problem that can be solved. So I do expect some like this problem to slowly to be fixed, and more and more tanks they will find the sources of the frames. They will find the upgrade capacities, and will do that. And this is what the key with the Western equipment, that it's like it's not endless, but you can build a steady supply. Ukraine needs around, let's say, 30 per month of tanks to complete its operational losses, to fulfill its operational losses that we have in right now. And I think that's quite a feasible goal over. And I'm not saying this is not enough for a major counteroffensive. For a major counteroffensives, you need like probably 50 a month, where you would have 30 to replace and like to substitute the losses. Right now, Ukraine is quite careful about using its tanks because we don't have those replacements coming in. But as soon as this problem is fixed, and I think it will take like 4 months, Ukraine will have its hands much more untied. And if we lose a tank, we will get a replacement for that, and it's not going to be, oh, let's wait 3 more years until we get this tank. And the numbers they allowed, it's just those numbers don't allow to Ukraine to get those tanks instantly.
Yeah, regarding Greece, Greece is not going to give their leopards to Ukraine. One person asked if we could trade like Abrams for them, and the answer is no. They uh, they they don't they have the leopards. Leopards are like mostly an obsolete tank at this point. You obviously can field them, but they're Leopard 2 is vastly superior. But the benefit of a Leopard is that it's cheap. It's very low cost, and the way Greece has structured themselves is that they have Leopard 2s in their more important units. They're higher trained people, and then they have Leopard 1s to fill out the rest of the ranks because they're lower price and they have a lot of them, and that's a logical way to have an army. You're not gonna replace your cheap low cost tank with an Abrams, which is obscenely expensive. Greece would like go bankrupt trying to do that. They're never gonna do that. It just wouldn't make sense. Like maybe trading an Abrams for a Leopard 2 would make sense because that's they're going to their more elite forces and all that. But they would never trade a Leopard for an Abrams. It would be economically terrible.
Yeah, and you need to maintain, have the parts, and in addition to actually purchasing them. But yeah, it's for example for I want to say that for Ukraine, Abram tanks are actually good, can be a good solution. They're pretty expensive to run, but with the support of United States, and it can be done. And but it's not anywhere close. I think I posted recently an image, a funny image that no one can make much sense of, about Leopard tank. Oh, sorry, about Abrams tank. And I think they're going to be a bit early in Ukraine. But they're not going to be in Ukraine by the end of the spring. But I think they're going to be in the summer, not in fall. We have multiple indications of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have Leopard 2s, as you can see.
Yeah. Well, Leopard 2 is ready to go. I don't know what everybody's complaining about. It's right there.
Leopard 662.
uh, anyways, I again covered the news in Zaporizhia now. Novodanilivka, people are saying that it's half contested. I don't know. It's kind of hard to judge whether it is half contested or not. I've heard that Ukraine never lost it. I don't know. There's news about Ukraine having captured half of it, but I think they have never lost it. So it's kind of weird news. And and then Nova Andrivka. I don't think Ukraine is actually attacking from there anymore, so I should probably delete that arrow. But more or less, this whole kind of Zaporizhia area, not very much is happening. It's not very exciting. They're just shelling. Um,
Mush,
yeah.
mush. Look at the cat. No, I'm talking to my daughter right now. Sorry.
Okay.
The,
Okay.
the cat has gone crazy.
The cat's gone crazy. Uh, near Vuhledar, this house right here, this very specific house, um, was recently taken out by Ukrainian artillery. Um, there's a video of a whole bunch of Russians going into the only house. I don't know about you, Constantine, but if there was exactly one house, I would not go into the house. I would very much not go into the house. But these Russians, they don't think like that. They went into the house, and
How was it? Was it destroyed?
yeah, it was destroyed. Yeah, it got hit. Ukraine just like pounded it with artillery. Why would you go into
You'll
the
have
only house? I don't get it. It's like, oh, no one will see us in the only house. Oh, I don't know. But you could see it. This is the full extent of their movement is this very specific house, and you see how far from Vuhledar that is. It's not. So that this is the offensive that they've been up to recently. I'm not. Yeah, I don't. I'm not 100% sure what these plots of land are. I don't know if these are old houses or if these were houses they were planning to build. I'm not really sure. It kind of looks like they're building here, don't you? Don't you think it looks like they were planning to build houses? But I don't know.
so we usually in Ukraine we usually have, like, for example, someone buys a large plot, splits into small things, smaller ones, and starts selling it to others. So maybe that, like a new small village that was planned, and the owner usually builds the first one house. The guy who purchased it built the first house himself. So maybe that is it, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Um, uh, but yeah, yeah, that's they went into the only house. I wish I had the video handy to show you because it's actually pretty funny, but I don't have it handy right now. Yeah, I really think that these were just they're preparing to build houses. They were probably like going through and flattening the land and getting ready to like pour cement foundations and stuff, and then there was a war all of a sudden. Or maybe they ran out of money, and that's just the way it turned out. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. Now it's a cemetery, more or less. You're right. That's kind of the news. There's really not too much going on. To be honest, it's a lot of the things that are happening are just artillery shelling. I guess we could talk about some of these strikes. Um, uh, I don't have any real news about any of these four strikes other than that they happened. So Ukraine hit these four places with some weapon that I don't know of. Uh, the same goes for this strike. I don't have any particular information about that strike either, other than it happened. In Kramatorsk, I believe this is the school that blew up. But like I said before, I was having a lot of trouble identifying the exact school. But I think it was this one. It got hit by a missile. I think it was an S-300, and up here, this city was also hit by an S-300. I don't actually know where. I think it was another school, but I don't remember. Bilopilia got hit by a guided bomb uh, a few days ago. It was hit by like a TV guided cruise missiles, I believe. And yeah, that's kind of all of the strikes from today anyway. And then yesterday there were a few more strikes. There was an assassination attempt in Melitopol. There was a I don't remember what this was. There was a oh yeah, this was a this facility was housing a whole bunch of Russian vehicles and ammunition, and Ukraine destroyed it, which was exciting. Um, then there was another ammo depot in Enerhodar. Um, Drone strikes in Nikopol and Marinets, and then there was a strike in Tokmak, and yeah, there was a series of drone strikes in Volnovacha, and a large strike here on this train station in Novotratska. So, and there were gas attacks in Pervomaysky and all over this area. Really, there's gas attacks. So yeah, um, they attack the kindergarten. They seem to like attacking kindergartens. They attack one like every single day. Oh yeah, yeah. There's Ukraine was building a a nuclear powered icebreaker for Russia, and Russia bombed the icebreaker. So I don't think they're getting their icebreaker now, Constantine. I don't know. Did you hear?
They can get.
Did you hear about the icebreaker?
I don't think. No, I have not heard anything about it.
Yeah, he. Yeah, it was supposed to be built and delivered in 2027, and that's not happening. So yeah, that's all we got. There's a ammo depot destroyed in Solidar. There was a barracks destroyed in Lysychansk. Just all these random things that happen sometimes. That's basically all the news I got. All right, so see you later, I guess.
Yeah, thank you for coming. It was great stream. I think we had up to 100 people this time. Thank you for coming and great. Looking forward to seeing you once again.
All right, bye.